Hey guys, welcome back to Community Cares. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And my name's Chaplain Chaz Blackburn. I have the honor of being the president of Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, and we have a really special guest today. And I always say that, but we really do. I've actually been learning a lot more about her from one of my good friends, Bob, who's a volunteer at Circle Life Community Hospice. And, she has a great reputation in the community. So I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me here. My name is Monica DuPea, and I am the director and founder of Nevada Youth Empowerment Project and Truckee Meadows Housing Solutions.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We've had some good conversations, and so I'm just thrilled that you said yes to coming on the show and just joining us and talking about what we're doing in the community. So the show is about resources. That's what we do it about every single week. And then we also talk about 3 events happening in the community that's upcoming. And the reason is because we really want to encourage our listeners and viewers to go out into the community and be a part of what's happening. Kind of like you were talking about when you first came in today. We were having the conversation of, a lot of people don't want to be in the community, especially these younger generations are having a harder time wanting to be in the community. And I know that because I'm dealing with a lot of that with my friends, with my social circles, with younger people than me. And it seems like even younger people are having issues too.
Are you calling us old the way you looked at us? I'm just kidding.
No, that is not what I said.
That's
not what I said. Yeah, you guys stay home all the time, right?
No.
Do you stay home all the time? No, you don't.
I'm a homebody, but when I have events, I go and do the different events. But
you're always out there.
That's probably why I like to be at home so much, just by myself with Lily.
Well, if this is your first time listening to the podcast or watching it on Facebook or YouTube or wherever else, just make sure to visit getclothes.org and you can find out more information about what we do in the community. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, all over the place. You type in Community Cares and we come up.
Yeah.
Oh, and Amazon. You mentioned that last week.
Yeah, I
didn't know Amazon had podcasts.
It was funny because I don't know how it happened, but the one that it pops up mostly with Amazon on the top feed is the one with Oscar Delgado.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you upload to an extra source or...
So, I upload it everywhere, dude.
Did you? Okay.
It goes everywhere.
Awesome.
I connected a bunch of stuff and, you know some of the things I can do. You know. I know some media things, some wizardry.
Yeah.
Nothing else? You
Nope.
got nothing to that one? No comment? No dad joke?
No comment. Nope.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about some upcoming events in the community. Some of the things we wanted to highlight. Reno Aces has their April 2nd show, and that is, I believe, coming up right now. So that's tomorrow as of this show. So make sure to get your tickets, be in the community, be out there with people. It's super healthy to be a part of.
All I could think about is that I committed to wearing a hot dog costume for the Circle Life Hospice House fundraiser at the Aces. So we'll see if they actually buy it.
No.
I know.
I'll buy one for you.
It's $1 hot dogs. And that's always a great night. Yeah. So
be a support. Wear those hot dog costumes. Oh my goodness.
Nothing like a good Aces baseball game though. It's a lot of fun. Have you been to Aces baseball game?
I have been to the game. I'm not a super big baseball fan, but I have made my way over there to have the experience. I would encourage everyone to make it over and at least go to one game and see if it's something that you like to do.
And I do really appreciate, shout out to the Aces, because they do a bunch of different nonprofit nights. So that might be something that you guys look into. We do it every year for the hospice house, and they pick like 8 different ones. I think Crisis Services Network and Forever 14 was there. There's a whole bunch that partake in that. So yeah.
Absolutely. So definitely check it out. Tickets are available online. Go on tomorrow and check out some Aces baseball. I know my wife and I, we normally get like the $5 tickets that are really inexpensive and just go. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Be in the community. Talk to someone, meet someone new. Like that's a crazy concept, right? Meet someone new. And the other event we wanted to highlight is our event here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, which is the Silver Summit Baby Shower on April 26th from 3 to 5 p.m. Now, Ray from Silver Summit, our friend, he's done videos with us. He's like, oh, let's do it that Wednesday, the 24th. And then he texted me again today, oh, let's do back to the original day. So they're sponsoring the event. If they want to do the event on that day, great. We'll do it. We're happy to do it. And it's a fun event for the community. Anyone at all is invited to the event. So it doesn't matter if you're a Silver Summit member or not, but they are inviting specifically Silver Summit members on their like email list and everything.
I love that because like we talked about in previous episodes, it's so difficult as a parent starting out, and especially in some of the struggles that new parents face. So it's a great event.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it'll be fun. I'm excited to do it. So we just wanted to highlight that, let the community know. And that will be from 3 to 5. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about is the Reno Jazz Fest. Tickets vary on that event. Oh, by the way, the last one, the Silver Summit one, is free. You don't have to pay to come. And there's raffles and giveaways and all sorts of things. But anyways, back to the Reno Jazz Fest. Reno Jazz Fest is April 25th to the 27th, so it's around that same time. And University of Nevada puts it on. You can go listen to some jazz. You can get a day pass for $20.
You look like a jazzy guy.
I love jazz. Absolutely.
Awesome.
There's something about music and how it connects us in the community. Yeah. So definitely would encourage if you're able, go down to the Reno Jazz Fest and be a part of what's happening.
Yeah.
And meet someone new.
One time I was in Seattle, Washington, and I went to this jazz club, and it was the coolest experience ever. I mean, I really liked that.
Yeah.
Just the lights were, really low, and it was
did you
cool
snap?
Jazz movie. No.
No.
I heard one of our folks that are running for city council has a jazz band.
Lily
Baran has a jazz band.
Oh, Lily does.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, so if anyone can track it down and check it out,
Awesome,
I'd encourage them to.
Yeah. Did you hear that? If you know of it, definitely comment. Just so you guys know, this is a pre-recorded episode. Normally we're live on Mondays at 5:45 every single Monday live.
I thought maybe I was getting in trouble for saying too much on live.
No.
Try
It's
to play
okay.
it safe
You're
you can
good.
edit it.
Pre-recorded. If you say something you're not supposed to, reveal things you shouldn't yet, I'll just edit it out.
Oh,
no problem.
Are we revealing it again?
What?
The new.
He's gonna edit that out too.
That's now edited out. Actually, that reminds me, I do need to edit out something because you're right. Oh my goodness. Hey, well, thank you guys so much for being a part of what we're doing. Thank you for allowing us to highlight these community events. Like we said, we want you to be in the community with other people. I mean, we're all about making a difference. We're all about, all 3 people here are part of organizations that are trying to make a difference in the community, right?
Yep. Right. Just like our cliche little saying, we got to say, be the change you want to see in the world. And I really believe that's a lot of what you're doing at your organization. So I'm excited to hear more in a minute.
Yeah, so Monica, I'm going to give it over to you. Please share everything you can about the organization, and we are so happy that you're here. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll share all of the things. So again, I'll talk mostly about Nevada Youth Empowerment Project. We opened about 2007, and we operate a housing-based program for willing and capable young women who are experiencing homelessness. So 18 to 24-year-olds. And what we do is we help them finish high school, we help them finish a trade, and we help them get into their own independent housing. Wow. And it's done through a very comprehensive program that has a lot of accountability and a lot of parental attention in it. So I would say that's our secret over there, is that we have caring parental attention, and we have a balance of practical, logical, and emotional content that we're teaching them while they're in the program. And so the average length of stay is about 2 years for them to complete everything and to get to a space where they really feel confident and they really feel like they can launch out on their own. So these are all young women who have had very adverse backgrounds. Many of them are also experiencing unmanaged emotions. They are experiencing unhealed trauma. They are experiencing unfinished high school. They're unskilled. They don't have a lot of positive social interaction. So there's just quite a bit that we have to tackle, and we have to do that in a methodical way to ensure that the foundation is being built properly in these young women, so that as they are taking on new challenges, that they're not overwhelmed and that they're ready for them and that they're supported through them to success.
Well, it's all about, like Grant talks about this a lot, not just putting a Band-Aid on it, but actually building a foundation. And I think that's what you guys are doing, is giving them life skills and kind of that support that they may have not gotten from their parents or in that family unit. So that's really amazing. And I think that's it probably impacting generations for their children and their future children. So that's amazing. How did you get started with this organization?
I was actually working at another organization that kind of imploded in on itself, and I really liked the work we were doing. So I stepped out, and with a couple other women, we founded the Nevada Youth Empowerment Project. And then I started working closely with a mutual friend of ours, Dave, which is Dr. Bob Quilich. Oh, yeah. And Dr. Bob started working with me, coming in, doing staff development each week, and helping me build the program. And so we're at about a 13-component program now. So it's taken us many years to build a measurable and reportable program, but we're happy to say that we're there, which is, it's really a relief, I have to say, in a time where people are not people, but agencies are kind of trying to figure out where their solution fits in and what solution are they going to provide. I feel like we have our solution together. We know which niche, because we need 1,000 solutions.
Yeah.
We need 1,000 of them, because we have 1,000 different ways that people like to be approached. And so every time a girl doesn't make it successfully at our program, I will imagine what place need to exist for her to do well. And so we still have a lot of work to do, but we have a lot of niches to kind of fill in with specialized programming so that all the folks out there that need our help can find the place that they fit in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's a wonderful program, and what you guys are doing is definitely helping those in need that need it the most, right? And so, and I'm sure you're going after how does someone get connected to the program?
I want to first go back. It's not that we're helping the people that most need it. We're helping the girls who want it. Our program is for willing and capable. So these girls are identifying as, I'm homeless. I need this program. I read about you online. I want to finish high school. I want to get a good paying job. I want to maybe get therapy. I want to get on med. I want to do the things I need to do. And then we say, okay, we want to be your partner in that.
Wow.
And so we're interested in being a partner with someone who wants to accomplish these types of goals. And so we're really not a place that's just a place to sleep or a place to get food or a place to get one or two resources. It's the full package. So when you come in, we're taking you into our arms. You are now part of the Enyep family. We are in your room every day, waking you up, talking to you, seeing what you need, seeing how your day went. So there's a lot of parental attention that they get there. And that's the distinction we made way back with Dr. Bob, is we need to give these kids the same thing we give our own kids.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. So sorry, Dave. The way people find our program is we have a really robust website, so nyep.org. If you go to it, you'll find our application online. You'll find our handbook for our program online, which has the rules and the expectations. So there's a video tour of the program. So you can see that if you're a potential applicant, or if maybe you're thinking about it, to tell a youth that you know about it. So you can see that. But we get referrals from all the shelters, of course. We get referrals from the school district, from juvenile parole and probation, from anyone who would cross paths with a young woman who might need us. Those are the types of people we get referrals from.
In the Great Basin Chaplain Corps, we just started building a program for the state police for the sex offender unit and PMP probation. And my eyes have really been opened that there is so much human trafficking and, working with Awaken. And so I think this is a great opportunity for some of those ladies or young women to get into a program before they get to that point, or to truly get out of the hole, because you're right, you have to have that whole wraparound services, because a lot of these young individuals are in circumstances that, they have to be completely immersed in the support.
Right. And we're lucky enough at Enyep to be able to have a program that does that. Not every place can do that for their clients, but because we're dealing with willing and capable, we can wrap ourselves around the needs they have within that, and then we refer any of their mental health issues out, any medical issues, physical health issues, school issues, all of that's referred out. But internally, we can really be their support in guiding, how do I figure this out? How do I figure that out? How do I figure this out? And there's a ton of that. If you have children, there's a ton of that every single day. Yeah. So when young people are left to be visited with once a month or once a week, it just simply isn't comprehensive enough. And if we're working with willing and capable, and this is the level of comprehensiveness we have to provide, imagine what needs to be provided for someone who's severe mentally ill or severe emotionally disturbed. Even more comprehensive and complex supports will need to be provided. which is a little scary when we start thinking about how much is this going to cost. When we talk about homelessness and how much does it cost to solve homelessness, when you start talking about the behavioral health needs of changing behavior, it's expensive because folks need, they didn't get this way overnight. They got this way over years, and they may need years to unravel back into a more appropriate or healthy behavior.
So what are like the age groups? You kind of touched on it, but in a numbers version, what are the age groups that you guys serve?
So we serve 18 to 24. Okay. Occasionally, a 17-year-old can get in with a county assistance. But we really do focus on a young woman who is wanting to put her life together. And so our relationship is with the youth. So even if there's an adult that would like to refer someone in, they can refer them in, but we would be interviewing the youth and making sure that the agreement is with the youth. There's a lot of adults that want young women to go in our program, but young women are not interested in that level of accountability and rules and expectations. And we're seeing that a lot across the adult population as well, which is the big complaint even at the shelter, that they don't want to follow rules. They don't want to do what we want them to do. And so this is challenging right now. This is a lot of work that we have to sit down and kind of brainstorm, since we're the power and the authority and we have all of the resources. We have to sit down and kind of think about how do you motivate someone who's maybe hopeless? How do you get someone interested who's not interested? How do you help someone identify and get passionate about something when they're not? And those are all our jobs to figure out how to do.
So what would you say are some of those ways? I know it's varying by case, but do you think it has to do with, helping them re-visualize dreams that they had forgotten? Does it go back to, maybe motivating them through having a family? I mean, or is it sometimes it more negative where you're reminding them of the reality that they could return to? What do you find is a key motivator for a lot of girls?
Well, I know we're working on it, and I know it's individualized. And that's another thing that makes it really hard for agencies and for the system to come up with a solution, because we kind of want a one-size-fits-all. So what thing could we do to motivate everybody? And that's really not how it's working that we're seeing. It's very individual. And so it's spending time with each individual. And of course, we have our program goals, but then talking to them, what are their goals? Sometimes their goals are to get to another state, to be with family. Sometimes it's to move in with a partner that they've been seeing for a while, and they don't have a job and the partner doesn't have a job, and they have these dreams and goals, but they haven't shared them with anyone because they're not our dreams and goals of the program. They tend to not be the things. They're not a job. They're not finishing school. Those are the priorities. And so getting more interested in what they want so that there's a reciprocation going on there. And being genuine. That's a complaint I hear from a lot of young people, is that a lot of the older people talk to them and they're genuine until they get what they want, then they're gone, or until they don't get what they want and get mad and leave. And that's what we're kind of doing. I see a lot. We're being very punitive. So if someone isn't doing what we want them to do, we punish them, or we threaten them, or we discipline them. And working with Dr. Bob has really shown me that you get far more out of people by incentivizing them and rewarding them than you do by punishing them. And so we think a lot about motivating behaviors, and so we have a token system we use at ENYET. So you're rewarded for things that you complete, things that you accomplish, and then you turn those points in to purchase bus passes, out-of-town trips, right now rides. But thinking more about what do individuals want. So when girls come into the program, we ask them, how do you like to be rewarded? So we have little things that we assess them through now, because we've learned. And so we use those tools when it's time to reward, or when we want to motivate a behavior, we'll use that as an incentive. But we're still piloting and figuring this out ourselves. And so this is the work that when you finally get out of chaos and you finally get out of working out of urgency, you can finally get to sitting down and going, how do we motivate people that aren't motivated? And if you are constantly in chaos, you're never having these moments where you could talk about these other things.
Another key thing that I heard you say, and I think it's so powerful in so many different fields, is just listening. I heard you say that you go in the room every morning and wake them up and spend that time. There's so much power in presence, and truly being present, not just physically, but really active listening and caring about what their dreams and goals are. And that's something that is not common in our society.
No.
You know, it's a system, and so to really personalize that, I love that. So that's amazing.
It's very draining to give yourself emotionally.
It is.
And that's what we're asking agency staff to do, is to give themselves emotionally to someone who may reciprocate positively or who may reciprocate negatively. And when you get negative reciprocation, it doesn't really encourage you to continue to engage. But this work is not personal. What is said and done to us out of anger, desperation, just feeling low in life, it's not personal. And so we, as again, with the power, the authority, the resources, we have to be the bigger people in these moments and remain engaged and keep going back to the drawing table and figuring out what works for this population. But I will tell you that it's very interesting when you really can provide a highly accountable program. The ones that are there and really doing the work, trying to improve their lives, they're going to be in there asking for more help.
Yeah.
The ones that are just there using the place for a place to sleep until they find the next best place, that will blow them out. The accountability really shines out who's there for the right reasons and who's not there for the right reasons. And then you can start seeing who's appropriate for your program and who's not. Because homelessness is, I don't have to tell you guys, homelessness is such a desperate place to be in that you will say and do anything to get a place to stay. And we understand that. And so when people come in, their presenting issue is, I'm homeless. But as we stabilize that, all the layers will start to come out of what's kind of lent to their homelessness. And then we can start working on all those issues with them so that they can get those things managed so that it doesn't result in homelessness again for them. But when they generally come in, they don't want to say how they, what led to it. They don't want to be like, I stopped taking my medications and I stopped going to my mental health treatments and I freaked out on my landlord, or I've been horrible over at the shelter and they kicked me out. Or they don't want to say the things to you that are going to make you turn your back on them as well.
The real reason.
But we need to know those things so that we can understand what barriers and challenges are getting in their way.
Sure.
Because what I've found is most people get in their way.
And sometimes, if we're truly honest, as a society, sometimes we punish people for being honest. And so that's why it's important to have different organizations like yourself that is actually truly looking like that, because a lot of times it's just a downward spiral, and that's why it's so hard to get out of the hole. And I'm not saying that, everybody does that. I'm just saying it seems like our system and society, we're getting better at it, but it's designed to, once you are honest about those things, then you're completely like cut off, or people don't give you chances. So it's tough. It's a tough balance, I think.
Right. We have to do a better job at hearing information that makes us uncomfortable and handling it better. As like the authority, we're not doing a good job at that right now. We get really scared of situations and we just want to shut them down. The situation's happening. Shutting it down and not talking about it is not the best thing. If something is already happening, for example, if people are already sleeping in their cars, let's talk about a parking lot program.
Right.
That's happening. It provides, it's not a bed, it's not a unit, but it is an alternative that someone would rather be in than be into the shelter. Talking about these things isn't going to hurt anybody. Yeah. And so
just conversation.
Right. And opening them up and talking about them. But we tend to make the rule about the exception. And then we have a rule that no one can do it. And the no is killing us right now because we don't have enough beds. So we have to come up with alternatives, like we were speaking earlier, like maybe the churches can open their parking lots. Maybe they can figure out how to open their pews. You weren't talking about this, I was, but I was speaking of it to you. A host home program. But there are things that we could be doing additionally to waiting on the system to build it. There could be other systems that are building additional relief.
Well, we can't expect the government to do it all. In fact, that's just not appropriate at all. It takes the whole community to come together. It takes the government, the system. It takes people who care and have the hearts. And so we all have to chip in that. It's just like teen suicide. It's not just the school district, or it's not just the community. It's the parents, teachers, and the different nonprofit organizations all working together to make this better. It's the same thing with homelessness.
Right.
So.
And that's why we do the show, is so we can have those conversations, right?
Bring people together.
And I mean, I love ideas. I love, you mentioned, you're like, I said it. You didn't say it. It doesn't matter to me. I think it's a good idea.
I didn't want to put any trouble on you in case we're like, you're talking about, you're pushing. And so
the reality, the reality is we have to think of off the wall solutions for something to work. We do. That's the reality. We get so scared in the authority spot, right? Because we don't want to lose that authority, right? And that's what you're saying, and is that fear or that frustration, and then that exception becomes the rule, and then where do we go from here? Nowhere, because we put ourselves in a corner. And so, and I think our goal here, which at Good Shepherd, we just want to help people. That's the reality. Now, what's the best way to help people, right? And that's what you're doing is you're going through and you're looking, okay, we want people that want to be helped. We want to help everyone.
We know who our target population is and who does well at our program.
And you guys are doing that well.
Right.
And that's awesome to learn. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And, you're right. The government cannot do this on its own. Nobody can do this on their own. And there's 1,000 niches. Yeah. If we could have people go, I'll do that one, I'll do that one, I'll do that one. And that's what it is down the line. And we've been lucky. We're private funded at NYEP. And so we raise our money through private foundations and private donors. And that's really given us the freedom to create a program that is effective for a niche in the population. But I know there are many people out there that want to fund effective programs and effective solutions. Yep. So I encourage people to pull their chair up to the table.
And it's so sad that we talk about this all the time, that many nonprofits become competitive and won't work together. We see it all the time, and it's so frustrating. It's like,
we just want to work together.
Yeah, we have a lot of the resources.
We just want to have conversations. There's a lot of resources already in the community that we're wasting. Yeah. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, we really like to align principally with who we're working with. I mentioned that to you earlier, Dave, where, I've noticed there's a lot of agencies with programs that aren't really programs. They say they have a program, but not to what I know a program to be. Sure. And so if we're not aiming for the same goals, if we're not adhering to the same kinds of expectations, then we have a difficult time aligning with those kinds of folks. And so we are always looking for partners who care about what we're focused on completing over at NYEP. But again, I want to mention, just because I said it earlier out there, we've really shifted the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years at NYEP to be very focused on accountability, and we were using a punitive style of discipline, of getting on people when they weren't getting things completed. I was lucky enough to go through Ford Institute training in the last couple years, and we've brought in a social and emotional component where now we address everything compassionately, to where we truly are going in and asking, like, what happened yesterday? What do you think got in the way of you making it to that appointment, versus going in and saying, you missed your appointment yesterday, that's going to be 50 points. You need to reschedule that appointment. These were things that worked on my generation.
Yeah, it's critical.
What we're dealing with now, it's a much different thing. It's a much different thing. We have a lot of young people who are socially and emotionally blunted. They operate from their emotions. Their emotions 100%. Drive their decisions. Yeah. Sorry, 100%. I keep hitting my
I love the passion.
I'm German.
I know.
I'm German. And so we see that a lot at the house, where we see it. We see that, and imagine how that feels, being ran by your emotions. And so we're really working on that now.
Awesome. Well, we gotta wrap things up, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
That went fast because I was so interested in the information.
That was great.
Come and tour.
We would love to.
Yeah. Awesome. If you want to find out more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, always visit getclothes.org. And if you want to find out more,
you can come to nyep.org.
There it is. And we're all about community conversations. Thank you for having this community conversation
Thank you for inviting
with us. And the reality is our heart at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet is to help as many people as we can. And that's our heart. These are clothes that could go in landfills, and instead we're giving it to people. So, and we help 700 people a month, no matter what. And we're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right. We'll see you next week, guys.
I like the beanie hat this time.
Do it. Help.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.